second time and just getting the record.
Thank you. Say I've got it.
Okay. Coach, congratulations. That was a challenging one, an exciting one. Can we get your thoughts on how you thought the game went?
Well, two things. I mean, first of all, it's a good thing Abby was here today. That's for sure. Certainly relied on her. No, more importantly, I think I give RIT a ton of credit. And if you've been paying attention to how they play down the stretch, you should just don't look at their record. In fact, in postseason they were 1-0 coming into today. But the last month or so, a lot of games, they're really good at it. They get outshot in the first period. They keep the score close, and then they just hang in there. And they're very effective in what they do. And my compliments to their staff and their players. And then just, selling out to block those shots when we had the power plays. And so a very determined team. So they gave us, everything that we could, in terms of trying to handle with getting back into play. We haven't played for a couple of weeks. They gave us everything that, a really good team you would expect. They were really good. But kudos to our kids. Nobody panicked. We were resourceful, I guess, in terms of generating a lot of chances. And their goaltender was very good. And I think for us, getting over the hump today and getting into the championship game, that was good for us today. But kudos to our team. They've got a bright future if they continue to play like that. Good for them. Any questions?
Yeah, just first to start off, you guys have played them 4 times beforehand, including a 7-0 win. As you were saying, they've been playing a little better in the past month or so. How's the matchup evolved over the season against RIT until today?
Well, yeah, we had the one overtime game here early in the year, where they actually was very similar to today. We didn't coach them as badly, but very similar in the way they played. But, even the game over there, the last game we played was earlier this season. I think it ended up 5-2, but it was a really good game. And they're a very determined team, and I really think it's good for us. We had a lot of shots, and I think that certainly quite often in the playoffs or special teams, any really good special teams, and they were 2 for 5 on the power play today, and that's uncharacteristic of us. So those are things that we can tighten up for tomorrow. In our power play, I think we got a little stale there. We had our chances late. We only had about 30 seconds of power play until the overtime. So I think there's things that we can work on. So all in all, it's good for us. But the matchups with them, you can ask the girls, but from my perspective, they threw at us just what we expected. They're tenacious and determined, and they could have gone either way. You get into an overtime, it's one shot, it's over.
And just another thing, just on you guys took a lot of shots, but they didn't take many, and you also gave up a lot of penalties as well. Just you were talking about just tightening everything up just for tomorrow. What was it just with all the 5 penalties today?
Yeah, I don't know. I know we deserve a couple of them, but it happens when you're trying to be aggressive. And whether it's on the forecheck or you're trying to be strong in zone to battle for loose pucks, and that's going to happen. And our PK has been so reliable all year, but they scored with 8 seconds left on the first power play, and in the second one, it just popped up in the air. It was kind of a fluke goal. So I don't think we have to change anything. We just have we have to tighten things up. I think the big change for us tomorrow would be to really focus on moving the puck on the power play. So we go from there, and we'll wait and see who we've got for an opponent.
Julie?
You guys have outshot RIT significantly in this one. Can you just speak to the kind of mental toughness to your team about coming in today, getting down the third period, but being able to come back and tie it, being able to come over and win it in overtime? Can you just talk about the mental toughness of this team?
Well, we have a very determined group. We have fifth-year players and seniors. We have a really good group. 2 of them are here right now that they weren't going to let this happen, in terms of we'll let this slip away. I think there was never any panic in the locker room when I was in there in between periods and on the bench, and just stay the course and just keep doing what we've been doing. We didn't have to change anything. I think there was a sense that we needed to get pucks into into Co's pads, and a lot of shots that maybe zipping high and they're trying to pick corners, and that really wasn't effective. So just get pucks in. And then the one where Abby, the winning goal, just caught her glove, and finally one got by her. Maybe her glove was worn out at the end of the game. I don't know, but so there was, for our team, it really wasn't. There was no sense of panic at all. Just keep doing what you've been doing. That's my sense of it. I didn't hear anybody panicking on the bench. You girls, I thought everybody was good. And when you have a veteran group, they've been there before. They know what it takes, and you can't, put a price tag, so to speak, on experience. And I think for us, we have a lot more experience than that young RIT team, and maybe we can really see it in the overtime.
Any concern about any of the physical play from RIT down the stretch there in the third period a little bit?
Nah, I thought there was one. I think it was Rayla that she got popped down the corner. Sometimes with the referees, they don't want to be the reason the game is won or lost, and so you gotta, it's tough for them. And I didn't have any problem with it. I think in the first three periods, so the power plays were 5-1. Our one was 30 seconds. I think that could have been a little bit closer, but we had our chances. We can't complain. We had a short 5-on-3, and another 5-on-4, so we had our chances to execute on the power play. So they're a physical team, but we can be too.
Kayla, do you have anything?
Just one more question about Abby. Just describe her overall offensive impact, not just today, but just throughout the entire season.
Well, she's a leading scorer, and she's been consistently good in terms of not just scoring goals, but with assists and doing a lot of good things. But you don't realize it, you don't see it on the score sheet, but how many times she gets the puck coming out of the zone to the neutral zone and brings the puck into the zone. And that's something that she manages the puck really well, makes good decisions, and that's from her experience. And she also can score goals, but she does, that kind of goes unseen, and she does a really good job of that, and helps all other players out. They get opportunities. So.
Coach,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Good first.
All right, thank you.
All right. Abby, congratulations. Kayla, do you have a mask with you? I'm sorry. Since we're in the small room. Thank you. Appreciate that. Abby, if we can get your thoughts on the game, the hat trick, congratulations. What was your mindset coming out? Were you just going to get your goals today?
Yeah, so basically, ever since the beginning of the game, everyone gets into the change room. Very positive vibes all around from everyone, especially, even though we have some girls who don't get maybe as much playing time, there's still good positivity. It really impacts the team, especially on the bench. I did think that we had a bit of a kind of a lull in the second period, but we came together kind of at the end of that period and into the change room. I just decided together, this is what we need to focus on. If we keep it simple, get the puck deep, then we'll be fine. As for the goals, I don't think about much. It's just, let's get shots on net, drive the net, and make things happen.
You were just talking about you thought there was a little lull in the second period. Could you just describe it a little more? Just obviously there were a lot of penalties and whatnot, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think overall, although we did get scored on twice during those, we stayed composed. I think that was super important. We didn't kind of let it get to us too much. And then kind of during that lull, I'm not too sure how many shots they got, but they definitely got more than they did in the first period and the fifth period. So in that case, I think working on blocking shots and getting to them faster, I think we slowed down a bit, kind of let them win some races. And we talked about in the change room, we just couldn't let that happen in the third.
Yeah. And just also, you guys had a ton of shots, but a lot of there was a lot of block shots from RT. And just what about the defensive effort from the Tigers?
Oh, they played great. Every time we play them, sometimes we don't really know what to expect. Especially, the past 3 years, it's one of those teams where I find we can get a little cocky over, which in this case, we could not have done that, especially because of the past month that they've been having. They've done really well at times, some really important games. So coming into it, we came into it just like we would any other game, and they were just throwing their bodies to block some shots. They made it really tough for us, and overall, it made the game very stressful, but also very fun. It was a good game to play against them.
Yeah. And what about that? Obviously, that final goal. What was going through your mind for that last game?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember it, but I just remember kind of coming down the side and thinking, let's just get a shot on net. I actually meant to keep it low. I typically like to shoot low so I can, I'm fast so I can get to the rebounds if no one else is there. But that one just kind of actually came off my stick a little weird, not how I wanted it to, but I think it hit her glove, and it was kind of slow motion to me. Going in, I wasn't expecting it, but it was exciting.
Yeah, and just last question for me. Just I was talking to your mom afterwards. Just what was the play that?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Oh yeah, fine. Just your mom was talking about your confidence growing from your freshman year. Just do you think your confidence has grown overall since you were a freshman?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of the time, I remember my first few games my freshman year, I was kind of unsure of myself. I didn't really know, I think also where I kind of placed on the team, what like my purpose was going to be. And I think that I kind of found that with like my goal scoring, assists, kind of my points. It really drove my confidence up. And in a lot of situations freshman year, I wouldn't even take a shot because I was thinking, pass. But then I remember my summer after my freshman year, I said, I can't just think like that. I have to think different ways. I have to ensure I'm getting shots on the net because that's the only way, I'm going to score is if I do that. So it definitely my confidence, even from last year, it's definitely getting higher every year.
Julie?
Going into the overtime period, how keen were you on the idea that you guys were not going to lose today?
Oh yeah, especially because typically with overtime we don't have that break, that 15-minute intermission. So I think that was crucial to actually have that. We came together as a team, all sitting together we can't lose this, we're not going to lose this. There was no negativity at all. It was just positive vibes, positive talks. This is what we have to do, and a lot of, I love you guys, let's do this for each other, prove to everyone that we can do it, and I think that was our main motivation.
Now, you scored that goal, you said you kind of didn't remember what happened. Was that kind of like a blackout moment for you?
Absolutely. Sorry, my brother's waving at me. Yeah, it definitely was. Sometimes I just get into a zone where I'm just going hard on the ice and I see the puck and I'm like, okay, this is going to the net, that's my main goal, and that's kind of what I did. That was my thought process through that.
Kayla, do you have anything to say?
My questions keep getting answered.
So you're going to go first next time. Abby, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so you're just looking at who's walking up. That's great.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Yeah, feeling all right.
Just a little recovery. We're back in.
Just another game.
If you want to sit up a little bit, just so it'll look better for TV, thank you. Look at that.
How's that?
That's perfect, thanks, yeah.
There are actually people on here. Hey,
There you
everyone.
go, yes. Jessica, congratulations.
Thank you.
What's going through your mind when, you guys come out and score in 30 seconds and then it was a hard-fought game after that and then you go to overtime?
Yeah, it was definitely a battle. Kudos to RIT for keeping up with us, and we kept up with them as well. I'm just excited. I'm excited to lead this team, and I'm excited for the championship game tomorrow.
Kayla, you want to go first?
No, someone can go.
Henry, go ahead.
Yeah, just talk to me about just your own performances and you were getting a lot of shots off like the rest of the team. Some of them are going higher, some of them are blocked. Just talk to me about your offensive performance today.
Yeah, one key was getting pucks to net. That's how you're going to score. So anytime I had the opportunity to get the puck on net and create chaos in front of the net was definitely something that I wanted to do all game. Especially from the point, if she can't see those shots because we have screens in front, and create those rebounds so that we can put the puck in the net.
Just what about defensively? Because there's the second RIT goal that looks like they're trying to maybe set up the screen as well. Just talking about also RITs, even though they didn't have many shots today. Just what about their offensive performance today?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to take a page out of their book in terms of blocking shots. I don't know if you guys are going to ask me another question about power play, but I mean, they blocked a few of mine at the top, and that's something that we need to, take from them into the game tomorrow.
Joey?
You had ended up with 4 blocks today. Can you talk about kind of the defensive philosophy going into today's game? Was that something you guys talked about increasing going on as the week went on?
Yeah, I mean, Desi's always there for us, so, playing our defensive zone and make sure that we're tight and that we do block those shots because, hey, I mean, not all the time she says to us, hey, like, good block, but I know, like, deep down, like, she's saying, like, hey, thank you for having my back because, I mean, at times she has all of our backs, so it's kind of just a give and take.
And Abby Malotny was talking about kind of the lull between of the third period and overtime. Can you kind of give your perspective of what was kind of going on in the locker room before that, what the message kind of was?
Yeah, I mean, throughout a game, there's always the ups and downs. So we had a little bit of a slow, I want to say 10, 12 minutes. But we regrouped together, we supported one another, and I think that was important going into the overtime and winning for tomorrow.
And just one last question, just in the second period, you guys gave up some penalties, and there was some maybe a sloppy play. Just what was different about the second period compared to the rest of the game for you guys?
I mean, I think it was a good lesson for us. When we did have those media timeouts, I think we took advantage of that, more talking about let's not let them get under our skin. That's part of their game plan. For a little bit it worked. We need to make sure that doesn't happen tomorrow.
Was it just because more of the physicality, especially in the second period, or?
Yeah, I mean, emotions were high because we obviously wanted to win the game. We weren't comfortable with where we were at. So I just feel like sometimes the emotions of the game can get to you, but making sure that we're supporting each other, letting each other know that it's going to be okay, and just making sure we come out strong every shift.
Jessica, congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.
All right, thanks.